Hi there, it's Maria. It's late today. This video is a redo of a 59-minute plus video I did earlier in the day, during which I dissociated several times. My brain melted, the fog rolled in, I meandered and went off on tangents and couldn't remember where I began and what I had intended to talk about. So it's been a mixed bag of a day. Started on a high with the two sourdough starter jars. They were doing fine. I'll let you know. And so I refreshed those. Then I had two lengthy conversations from my front steps with two men that I have never met before. One was a Jehovah Witness who popped by today, and we talked for about half an hour. I'm going to make an appointment to talk with his wife, meet up with her for coffee or something. He wanted to pop by with her and introduce her to me, but I don't generally, like to answer my door to strangers. It was only because I was expecting fellow number two that I actually went to the door and opened it. So I didn't want that. So we'll make other arrangements. And I'm not becoming a Jehovah Witness. Okay, I'm not going to put myself into a box. But we seem to agree on a lot of things. Okay, stranger number two was very friendly guy. It was like I learned so much about his life in the span of 30 minutes or so. Again, we were like just, he bought the thing and then we just talked and talked and talked. And, I just felt very curious and open. And he talked about, buying his property over the phone from someone he had never even met, and how they, how he has a sixth sense about people, having been in business for so many years. And I learned about his love of Willie Nelson's Farm Aid, and how he travels every year to go to the States to see that. And he talked about his wife and his three grown-up daughters, and he wants his middle daughter to move in with him and his wife up north of Perry Sound, and to leave her funky boyfriend that he doesn't like. So I learned so many things about this fellow, and I don't know if he's normally like that, but what a nice guy. Like I felt in both instances quite open, quite safe, quite joyful, quite curious. Really seeing the beauty in these men. And I have to say, I think a lot of that, that's different for me. I grew up afraid of men. And that, may have been because of my father being an alcoholic and having to walk on eggshells and being around all of these, drunk people all the time, and afraid. And, when I was 15, like my dad would go to the bars every day after work. Well, the one bar, the Montreal House, and he would, he would, when he was working, he would go there after work, get drunk, come home, drink some more. And I remember I was maybe somewhere between 13 and 15, and I was in the rec room watching Star Trek and doing my homework. And there was a bar just behind me in the, in the chair I was sitting. And my dad brought this guy home with him, somebody he was working with. And this man who was in his 30s, just came over, said to my dad, "Oh, what a beautiful daughter you have." And then he proceeded to stick his tongue down my throat. And I was in absolute shock. In any case, I grew up fearing men, fearing their advances, fearing being intimate with men, always ready for them to do something wrong. And so just really hypervigilant, extra on alert, and critical even of men. So over the last 2 years, it seems that organically, my soul or psyche or whatever started to do some work on the father wound and the wounds related to the men, the masculine aspect of humanity, and probably within myself, and then that was followed up with dealing with mother wounds and wounds related to other women, and the feminine all around. And a lot of that God was showing me in my dreams, sort of what I'm processing and where I'm at, and it was just showing me a lot. And I just kept surrendering and trusting. Okay. And so that I was so free today, that I felt so good. It was just such positive experiences today. I'm so grateful for that. So that was the morning. And I realized that I really need to get a grip on this sleep issue, because I might have had 5 hours of sleep last night. I don't know. But I'm still recovering from, 2 prolonged episodes of sleeplessness since last Thursday. So it's within a week, right? So I'm not recovered yet, and I haven't been able to get 8 hours of sleep in any night since those. But I'm seeing how truly, it affects how I feel and what I do, and my ability even to make a wise decision, to decide like I did the other day. I'm getting out of bed. I'm not going to negotiate with this crappy mood that's and dread that's here first thing this morning. No, I'm getting up. Nope, bye-bye. I wasn't able to do that today. Today, I could see it. I could feel it. I was exhausted, and I was eating just to try to keep myself awake, so that when I go to bed tonight, that I could actually, try to get back to a normal circadian rhythm. Anyway, I could see that I was sliding into a pit, and of apathy, of just not, definitely apathy, of worry, worry about my health, And then also all the thoughts related to, I haven't had sleep, I'm really tired, today is a write-off, etc. But really, the morning was great. It wasn't a write-off. And what had changed? I might have had a little more energy. Maybe it was some of the food that I ate. Maybe I need more protein in my diet. Maybe the choices that I made around food, because I do find that when I eat, I get really tired afterwards and sluggish, and it can make me feel really tired. So there might be something going on there, whether it's totally, psychosomatic, whether it's part of some, cycle of thoughts, emotions, and, physical manifestation of certain symptoms. I don't know. I'm sure there's something there to all of that. But I saw the patterns, and I resisted turning to something that would uplift me. I resisted. I kept telling myself, it might be a good idea to read the armor of God. It might be a good idea to do something, to sit and meditate, to pray. And that did not happen. And I resisted. I actively, it's like, no, I wanted to stay in that pit. I just wanted the day to be a write-off. And I think sometimes it's like this lack of energy, this seemingly chronic fatigue, feeds that mentality. And I need to sit with that. Maybe I'll sit with that after this. And I'll come back to you rather than process it, right now. But so I did a video, 59 plus minute video earlier today, in which I dissociated like 3 or 4 times. The fog rolled in, my brain melted. I couldn't stay focused. I couldn't remember what I was originally going to talk about. And yeah, that was I didn't post it, and I probably won't post it, but this was sort of the nature of my day. So just before this video, I did I did acknowledge some things. I did read the armor of God, because even though I resisted actively, I wanted to stay in that slow decline of mood. I did not want to stay there. I didn't want to go to bed in that. I don't want to wake up in that. At least I don't want to go to bed in that. And tomorrow's another day, another chance for renewal and refresh, and to make another choice. But tonight, I read the armor of God, felt stronger, and I'm going to stop recording and sit with some things, and also sit in silence with God, and then go to bed. And yeah, know that even though I resisted, even though part of the day did not go as I would have hoped, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to judge myself harshly for it. I'm not going to get the shame stick out. I'm going to, because I feel regretful enough about it. And I wish I could have done differently. And I have compassion that I am not perfect, and it happened as it did. It showed me that at any moment I can turn things around, and that I'm the one who has the free will to choose that. And today, my free will chose what was not ideal for me, was not good for me. And it was such a contrast from this morning, such freedom and joy and light and beauty and connection. And this afternoon was like just heavy and lethargic and, just the opposite. So, yeah, I can choose, and even if I choose poorly, I'm still loved. I'm still the beloved of the beloved, and you are too. And one day does not make a life, and one choice doesn't condemn us. And there's always forgiveness and always the possibility of turnaround and to choose differently. So I'm going to choose again. I read the armor of God. I feel that some of that lethargy is left. I am tired, definitely, but that funk is gone. I'm going to sit with God for a little bit. I'm going to look at, maybe look at this pattern of fatigue. See, look at that. Anyway, I hope you have a good day, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And just remember that it's progress, not perfection. That it's okay. It's okay to slip up, as long as there is an intention to keep working towards creating what will support our living relationship with God, and not making excuses for it. So radical honesty, truly, to be able to say to God, God, I resisted. I actively resisted. I did not want to come out of that funk this evening. I did not. And that's the truth of it. And I don't necessarily need to analyze all of it. Just know that that's just what showed up. And turn back towards God. Surrender it. If I am called to process something, to feel something, to look at something, then I will trust that impulse as well. No hard and fast rules, right? Trust yourself. Trust the kingdom within. Turn to God. Know you're loved and forgiven. Always forgiven. So, do your best. I'm doing my best. Some days it doesn't look great. And that's it. All right. Peace.